Hey everybody. It is October and I am so excited to talk about October and all the scary movies I saw. Hold on, let me back up. Hey everyone. My name is Elvis and you're watching Joan of Our House. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Ooh, I've been watching a lot of movies from this TikTok video that I made. I fucking hate TikTok. But I got a lot of people that commented movies that I should watch, and yeah, I am super excited. I didn't know. I thought this whole month was gonna be like spooky movies, but there were so many movies that I wanted to watch that were not horror related that I thought, whatever, I can watch whatever I want. I am super excited for Halloween. Oh, I forgot to mention. We have a new guest on the show. That guy. Um, I don't know what to call it. Alex, if you're watching, you said Dante. I like Dante. I thought it was pretty cool. Gato, if you're watching, you said Billy. That's cool. And these little cuties, they've been in a bunch of my videos, whether it was in the background or not. Um, hopefully you saw them. But yeah. They're stuck together. They're like Velcro together, and they're always hugging. I thought that was really cute. I am super excited to talk about Halloween and all the scary movies. And in my TikTok video, my cousin Rosalia, she had commented that I should watch The Faculty, and that's exactly what we're gonna get into. Shit, let's just start talking about movies. The first movie that I saw in October was The Faculty. Take me to your teacher. When some very creepy things start happening around school, the kids at Harrington High make the chilling discovery that confirms their worst suspicion. Their teachers are really from another planet. This has, what the heck is his name? Josh Hartnett, the guy from Trap, the guy from Black Hawk Down, the guy from all these dang movies that I've been watching that I didn't even know that I was watching him. This is my review on it. This was so cool. I love the references to other great movies. I love how every time someone was revealed, it was always a shock. But it also felt like a middle school novel where the teachers are like the ones with the problem, and it's up to the students to like rise up and fight back. Very Goosebumps esque. The ending felt a little unbelievable. How did everything go back to normal? And how did Elijah Wood get with Jordana? Why is Josh Hartnett in football now? I thought that guy was a super senior. This movie was really cool. I liked Clea Duvall's character at the end. She starts referencing all these like classic horror movies, such as like Invasion of the Body Snatchers and all these things. I really liked this movie. This movie was so fun to watch. I really liked it, and yeah, what a great movie recommendation, Rosalia. Um, Gosh, dude, this was really fun. Uh, Josh Hartnett's haircut, dude, what a fuck ass haircut. That's two movies that I've seen, maybe more, where I've seen somebody with a fuck ass haircut. Maybe I'm the one with the fuck ass haircut. Game does recognize game. I don't know how else to explain it. It was very fun to watch, and I'm thinking about Elijah Wood going through the bleachers while they're closing, and it's like CGI until it ends up at the end where he uses like practical effects, and that's where I was like, oh, yup, this is exactly what I was here for. I love this shit. Hell yeah, this movie is really fun. The next movie that I saw was Sleepaway Camp. You won't be coming home. After a terrible boating accident, Angela Baker is sent to Camp Arawak, where where a series of bizarre and violent accidents begin to claim the lives of various campers. Um, so if you know this movie, you know the face that she makes, that um and you know the twist, maybe you don't, hopefully you don't. This is my review on it. I don't know what's going on lately, but the movies I've been watching keep ending abruptly. The ending is iconic, but to spend all this time for me to get to the legit climax of the movie, then to end, was a total interruption and a waste of such a good, or at least an impactful twist. The deaths don't really feel all that scary, and the old guy beating up that kid because he couldn't get any borderline underage sex was gross. The deaths near the end of the sleeping bags didn't have any motive and was out of the MO. If you haven't watched it, um, it's about, all right. So it starts off with the boating accident. A little girl, a little boy, and their dad. They're like swimming out there, whatnot, and this dummy boat uh, runs them over, and the dad dies, and the mom is grieving and doing whatever she does, and she sends him away to camp. This is years. This is years like later. She's clearly not right in the head. Um, she sends the little boy and the little girl, who's not the little girl. It's his cousin. Um, and they go to camp Sleepaway. I can't even remember the camp. And the girl Angela, she just stares. She stares throughout the whole movie and has these like deep freaking stare. Dude, scary, freaky, weird, very weird. And everybody in the camp, like in Lord of the Flies, starts to pick on her because she's acting so weird, so different. And then um people start dying and they're like, "What the hell's going on? Get this weirdo away from me." Angela is picked on very easily and is bullied for throughout the whole movie, and her cousin is the only one that comes to her saving, her rescue, and is like, and I mean, I think they're only like 12, maybe 14, and he's the one that's picking fights on on all these like grown ass kids. Anyway, this whole movie is building up, and you're really feeling the tension and like the mystery, and by the end it is the twist, and you're like, oh my god, that is crazy. And before you can even process of what just happened, it ends with that twist, and I'm thinking, I needed more. What the heck was this? So I did research on this thing, and I thought like there has to be some kind of explanation, why, whatever, and what was the reason and whatnot. Um, and it just ends, and then they made like 3 or 4 sequels after that, and I'm thinking, no way you milked this thing. What the hell is this? Eh, it was cool. The next movie that I saw was Santa Sangre. Forget everything you have ever seen. A former circus artist escapes from a mental hospital to rejoin his armless co-leader mother, and is forced to enact brutal murders in her name. This is alright. So this is like the very first. What the heck is his name? Alejandro Jodorowsky.
Chodnovsky? All right.
What a trip. So I watched this because I really like Suspiria and Inferno. I really like that kind of like Italian horror, and I thought, hell yeah, I'll watch this. I was not prepared. I was not prepared at all. This movie is weird. Made in 1989. I was completely taken off. This is my review. My first Jodorowsky. See, that's not whatever. My first Jodorowsky film, and man, what a ride. I didn't know this was what I was getting myself into. This was hard for me to get into at first, with odd characters that isn't so clearly stated who is who, which is fine. I'm all about that set design and flashbacks. The gore in this is still has an effect and is well done. The story is just crazy, and especially with the new way of people singing, reminds me of how my little town in Mexico and how they would sing. The ending was amazing. The way you can feel the mind clarifying of all of the horrors that had just happened, and the final lines, perfect. So let me just tell you very briefly what this is about. Back when Phoenix was a kid, his whole family was like into was a traveling family circus, and they had all these characters and all these people and whatnot, clowns and an elephant. There was like personal things going wrong between the mother and I think the boyfriend, I think the father, who knows. But the father was cheating, the mother was upset and took it out on him, and the dad like cut her arms off, and she's like without arms, and this is crazy. Um, it was so good. It was so strange, but it was like if you're a fan of like Guillermo del Toro's work, the strange oddities of horrors, dude, this is right up your alley. This is very good. Gosh, dude, and there's like a slasher scene. God, dude, it is so crazy. It is so good, but it's so weird. It's so odd. You should watch this movie. Oh my god! And then I can't talk about it. The ending is so good. I might watch it again. This was what a weird movie. The next movie that I saw was The Monkey. Everybody dies, and that's fucked up. When twin brothers find a mysterious wind-up monkey, a series of outrageous deaths tear their family apart. 25 years later, the monkey begins a new killing spree, forcing the estranged brothers to confront the cursed toy. I didn't really like this movie. I watched this with Nicole. Hey, baby. I I just couldn't get jiggy with it. I couldn't. Uh-uh. I didn't really like this. It wasn't very spooky nor funny. It was ridiculous, and that's what made it funny for me. But it was just meh. The acting was fairly okay. The gore over the top and gross, but very well done. Oh, the guy that was in this movie, Theo James, the guy from Divergent. I think it's Divergent. He's in this movie. He plays twins. I thought that was pretty cool. Um, he did really good acting both as a worried father and like a maniac. That's cool. I don't care about this movie. The next movie that I saw was The Orphanage. A tale of love, a story of horror. A woman brings up her family back to her childhood home, which she used to be an orphan, intended on reopening it. Before long, her son starts to communicate with a new invisible friend. I don't know if you've seen this, but I've seen this dozens of times as a kid, and I loved it ever since. I think it's also produced by Guillermo del Toro. I haven't seen this in a few years, and so rewatching it felt like I was watching it brand new. I mean, of course, I knew the twists and all that stuff, but seeing it in my perspective, in my new eyes, I guess, was very good. Dang, dude, I really like this movie. We'll do a quick crash course on this. So Laura grew up in this orphanage. When she's older, now married with not a kid, she adopts a kid. She her family goes to this orphanage to reinstate it and make it a home and whatnot, and they're trying to bring it back to life. It's been vacant for years, and the little boy Simon starts talking to himself, to this invisible friend, and Laura is trying to figure out like, all right, there's no ghost here, there's no invisible friend, like stop messing around, and Simon being a weirdo. being friends with ghosts, starts playing games with these ghosts. And one thing kind of leads to another. Uh, he ends up disappearing. And I think for like the next few months, if not year or so, Laura and her husband, her fuck ass husband, um, have been searching for Simone, and her husband, who gives up, is like, dude, I cannot be in this house anymore. I need to leave, and I want you to leave with me. And Laura's like, hell no, you're not gonna take me away. And she stays for 3 days, I believe, alone in this spooky ass orphanage. And her husband Carlos, that's his name, Carlos leaves. Laura stays and like brings the place back to life, as if she was one of the orphanage caretakers. It's more story heavy, which I absolutely love, which makes the horror work even better. It gives motive instead of like a senseless act of violence, such as like a slasher movie. This has so much heart and passion into this movie, and it is made with so much love. And gosh dang, you cannot help but to love this movie. Please watch it. Oh my gosh, it is. It's like a family staple in my home, and I love watching this movie, and you should watch it too. The next movie that I'm gonna watch, or the next movie that I saw, is Coraline. Be careful what you wish for. Wandering her rambling old house in her boring new town, 11-year-old Coraline discovers a hidden door to a strangely idealized version of her life. In order to stay in the fantasy, she must make a frightening, real sacrifice. So this movie came back in 2009, peak of my childhood. There's something about the fantastical sense of horror in this that really makes me feel at ease and at home. I really like this movie, and maybe I've seen it too much to the point that I can only watch it in spooky seasons. But man, I love this way more than I liked A Nightmare Before Christmas. Seeing Wembley slouch the whole time makes my neck hurt. Dude, Wybie, dude, I call him Wibbly. Wybie, like the way his neck is like protruded and like so. Dude, my back and neck hurts watching that kid move. I really like this movie. I really, really like this movie. I love all the little things about it. Um, the Russian gymnast, the twin oracles. This movie is just so good. It has such a sense of style. I love it. And I love the way it's animated. I mean, there's probably those who prefer The Nightmare Before Christmas more than this, and I'm the complete opposite. I love this movie more than I like The Nightmare Before Christmas, and that's just fine. It's cool. I think one of the biggest things that I remember about this movie is the end where there's like everything turns white and the floors, or probably my favorite scene is when the wood floors rip apart and it's just like a spider web that just like drops, and you can hear like the the webs like boing, and it's just Coraline like running up, and dude, this is very good. This is so good. Those schnauzers, they're not schnauzers, right? I love those dogs. Annoying. I love them. The next movie that I saw was A Dark Song. Cal, you suggested this movie to me, and I am still on the fence about it. I think I'm leaning towards just being okay with it. This is the synopsis. Not everything can be forgiven. A determined young woman and a damaged oculist risk their lives and souls to performing a dangerous ritual that will grant them what they want. So I'll tell you straight up. This lady, she's trying to communicate, to perform a ritual or a séance to communicate with her dead son, and she meets with this oculist and pays him so much money for to perform this ritual, and then pay so much more money to buy a house, and even a little more money on top of that to have the paperwork deleted. And they prep the house to perform these rituals, like the room of circles, the room of triangles, the room of squares, the room of whatever. And it's almost like a rocky training grounds where like she's in each room trying to master whatever they're trying to do, and it is just horrific. It's more like this guy is just being a sadistic asshole to this lady, and there's nothing scary about it. It's more unsettling than scary. And then by like the final 20 to 30 minutes, it gets a little scary, and like they start talking about gods and demons and whatnot, and we see a glimpse of demons, and I was just kind of unimpressed. I was like, come on! I really wanted to see more. I wanted to know who these demons are. I wanted some kind of like Hellraiser type of demons. Like you know how in Hellraiser each demon is like they have a job to do. Like this is the demon of gluttony and the demon of pride and whatever. I wish it was something like that with these demons, but it was just all right. The ending was cool. I'm just still on the fence about this. The next movie that I saw was 30 Days of Night. I think this is also a recommendation that you had given me, Rosalia. They're coming. This is the story of an isolated Alaskan town that is plunged into darkness for a month each year when the sun sinks below the horizon. As the last days of life fade, the town is attacked by a bloodthirsty gang of vampires bent on an uninterrupted orgy of destruction.
Very poor choice of words.
Only the small town's husband and wife sheriff team stand between the survivors and certain destruction. This was pretty fun, not scary, just entertaining. These vampire designs were pretty unique to me. I thought they were really cool. Like with the kind of slanted eyes, the like pulled nose, and like the sharp teeth. I thought they looked really cool. And for them to even have their own language, I thought that was also really cool. Another thing, this movie is fairly PG 13, especially with like the axe chops. Like you can only hear the axe chops and like the blood and like the head falling and stuff like that. But there's a scene towards the end where there's a full head chop and you see it, and it's like so crazy. It's so gross. It's so cool. Another thing that kind of like made me think is when the vampires would like attack one another, they would just do this like shake thing around their neck. They would just kind of, and I thought that was funny. Actually, another question arises: why are they trying to break up? Why are they having a divorce? Why are they splitting up? I don't think I remember that. That's besides the point. Josh's character is really trying to like save these people, and like I've seen hundreds of movies, maybe thousands of movies, and there's always that like sheriff or like hero where they just kind of do the saving. But I really felt Josh's character really had the intention wholeheartedly to save these people. When there was a death of his team, he was incredibly angry and wanted to kill this person, but like withheld the law and his morals, and yeah, I thought that was cool. The next movie that I saw was Ring, the original Japanese one. One curse, one cure, 1 week to find it. A mysterious video has been linked to a murder of deaths when an inquisitive journalist finds the tape and views it herself. She sets a motion of chain of events and puts her own life in danger. A slow burn that isn't horrific, but a mysterious horror that just keeps giving you clue even after towards the end, where things typically start to slow down for the finale This movie gives you just another clue, and bam, I'm hooked again. I'm a big fan of mysteries where I can keep guessing what's next, and this is just right for me. Dang, dang, dang. This movie is really cool. If you're looking, see, all right, so what I just said earlier,
What?
what I just said earlier about the orphanage, it's more story heavy, which is very okay with me. I love story. The way that the journalist, what's her name? You had to put respect on her name. She was so good in this movie. The journalist, played by Manako Matsushima. Yeah, this movie was so damn cool. The way that, damn, Manako Matsushima is just like pressing all of these like questions and ideas of like what's going on, what's the tape, why is there a curse, who is in the curse, and she watches it herself, and you're like, no, don't watch it. But she's a journalist. She's so smart. She, oh my god, she like finds clues, finds the ideas, and like really does like a video analysis on like the Ring video. And I mean, you had to watch it because you're the viewer. But I was scared watching the video, but she wasn't. She watched that tape multiple times. Ah, yeah, this movie is so good. You know, when you think about the Ring, you think about that girl and like oh, like it's very scary because you're so used to or accustomed to the Ring or the Grudge from like from 2000 whatever, from the remakes, the American remakes. I really urge you to watch this movie because it's not so scary, but it is world building that is scary. And that's probably the best part about a horror movie. Gosh, dude, you should watch this movie. The next movie that I saw was Invasion of the Body Snatchers. The seed is planted, terror grows. The residents of San Francisco are becoming drone like, shadows of their former selves. And as the phenomenon spreads, two Department of Health workers uncover the horrifying truth. Hot damn! This is so good. The way this movie built your insecurity of who is real and who isn't is taken over with these like candid shots of people walking around almost aimlessly. It's perfect. The way that you try and see who is who, but end up being decipherable, that's a big word. The sounds anxiety the sounds anxiety inducing is perfect. I love the synthesized bass pulse that just freaks me out. The bodies were just as spooky, but the paws were a little funny to look at. Uh, see the gates of everyone is just oh, seeing the fates of everyone is just saddening, especially at the end. So after watching The Faculty, thank you, Rosalia, for that movie recommendation. And in that movie, they reference Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I thought, shit, might as well watch it. So this movie starts off kind of slow, but what movie, isn't? Man, this movie is so cool. I look, all right. So this was made in like 1971, 1978. My bad. This movie still holds up. Have you seen a movie from like the 70s? Dude, it is tough. Yeah, watching this movie, I was like, damn, this still looks good. And the story is still very, very good. It's still very compelling. Uh, Leroy Nimrod, or the guy that plays Spock in like the original Star Trek series, he's in this movie and he plays a doctor and he is very good. So there's Donald Sutherland, the guy from Hunger Games. Uh, Elizabeth Driscoll. She plays. Oh wait. Brooke Adams. That's her name. She plays Elizabeth, and the concern that she has throughout this movie is so infectious. I I was starting to get a concern of who is who and why, and if they're replicas, body snatched, and dang, dang, this movie. This movie is really good. You should watch it. That's all right. It's not like for everyone, but um, it is really fun to watch. The next movie that I saw was Tron, 1982. Journey now into a startling new dimension where energy lives and breathes. A world inside the computer where man has never been, never before now. When brilliant video game maker Flynn hacks the mainframe of his ex-employer, he is beamed inside of an astonishing digital world and becomes part of the very game he is designing. In his mission through cyberspace, Flynn matches wits with a maniacal master control program and teams up with TRON, a security measure created to bring balance to the digital environment. So with Tron Ares coming out, I wanted to watch the original Tron to kind of see where we are, and I was doing a little research. Tron 1 1982 was one of the very first um, fully computer generated worlds movies. It was truly the first step of the new digital frontier of media. The first step of the new digital frontier. That's insane. Because of this movie Tron, we have movies like Toy Story 1, Robots, um, Real Steel. Every Marvel movie you could imagine is brought to you by Tron. Every every movie where you think, all right, clearly in space and we can't shoot up there, or we're clearly in a world that is different from ours, is brought to you by Tron. Being one of the first steps in an entire CGI movie, this movie is primitive, reaching for the newest frontier in media, so I have to give it some grace. The audio design was bad to the point where my friend had to keep her hand on the remote to adjust the volume throughout the movie. The world is jarring at first and hard to comprehend. Only after 20 minutes did I settle in and embrace the world of Tron. The story is bland and not as interesting or engaging, but with a world like this, the world speaks for itself. Although currently dated, I am excited to watch Tron Legacy again. So I saw this a few years ago, and I didn't necessarily like it. It was hard to comprehend what I was looking at with all the lights and shapes and dimension. Um, it was it was primitive for where we are now. Nearly 30, 40, wow, like 40 years ago. Um, it is. I'm trying to say this as nicely as possible. This movie is incredibly unique at its time, and incredibly special for its future. Incredibly important because it was the first step to bring us where we are now. This was probably the bravest step uh, in this form of media. If you're a fan of Tron Legacy, you should watch it. And that's exactly where I'm gonna go. The next movie that I saw was Tron Legacy. The game has changed. Sam Flynn, the tech savvy and daring son of Kevin Flynn, investigates his father's disappearance and is pulled into the grid. With the help of a mysterious program named Cora, Sam needs to stop the evil dictator Clue from crossing into the real world. I love the immense world building that Daft Punk brings to the religious and at times corny religious tones. But the passion and that this movie has and brings to revive the grid from the 80s is so much appreciated. Having just watched Tron, jumping into Tron Legacy, god dang, Tron Legacy perfected what Tron 1984 couldn't. They were building with sticks and stones, and we had probably the most well oiled machine out there, and it did everything that sticks and stones could do, but so much better and amazing. I love this movie. I understand that it's not a perfect movie and it's not a great movie, but I love it. Everything from the atmospheric depth that this movie has, the glow, the underglow with the dark horizons of this world, speaks to me in an almost spiritual level. I love the sleek, clean black glass that is this movie with the highlighted accents of neon Tron Legacy colors. I am also a huge fan of Daft Punk. Seeing this in the movie was absolutely amazing. I was geeking out the entire time. Before I could even appreciate Daft Punk, I knew these were the dudes. You know what I mean? I love synthesized classical orchestra music that Daft Punk and oh my god, let me back up. This is the first time Daft Punk has taken a stage like this where they composed and wrote music for movies. Don't. I know what you're gonna say. Interstellar 555 doesn't count. Whatever. I love all of this. I love the music. I listen to it in a near regular basis. It is in my, circulation. I'm done yapping about this. Let's go into the next movie. The next movie that I saw was Tron Ares. No going back. A highly sophisticated program called Ares is sent from the digital world into the real world on a dangerous mission, marking humanity's first encounter with AI beings. Fuck, that sounds cool. The more that I think about this movie, the more angry I feel. I left the movie theater angry and frustrated that the grid didn't understand or stay consistent with what the true grid intended or was. They had all the source material needed from the 80s to the perfection that is Legacy, but they chose to reference it as other than to embrace and indulge what the grid is. From the pathetic good corporation versus bad corporation, also AI good versus AI bad. But the grid is a civilization with a society and politics and power. But when we revisited the grid, it looked like flat pieces of color and shapes imitating Mardi Gras. There was no life on the grid. So now that I've seen Tron and Tron Legacy and Tron Uprising, um, I am very well aware that the grid is a civilization where there are cliques and friends and groups and powers, class and statuses. But when we revisited NCOM's grid, it looked like a bunch of triangles, bunch of squares. Just how do I explain this to you? How do I explain that the grid looks like our world? It is a series of chips that look like motorcycles that with circuits like freeways. It's it's a society, it's a map, it is a functioning society world. Like AI programs are just like you and I. You can even see it in the original Tron and Legacy and in Uprising. They are just like you and I. For them to only talk in this robotic, flat. I know I'm hating on this movie a lot, and I want to like it, and there are parts that I really like. And I really liked Athena's character. I thought she was probably one of the best characters on there. She was amazing. I think I was just expecting more Legacy than I was Ares. So maybe I will watch it in the future, and maybe I won't hate it as much. But I'm just frustrated, disappointed, and and I think I was just putting too much hope into this movie. Um, but regardless, gosh, dude, I can't even talk about it. I'm like so angry. I didn't like it, but I'm willing to rewatch it in the future. All right. Hey, welcome back. This is the end of the video. Thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you guys for listening to me rant about a near 15-year-old movie. Now, movie that just came out. It's good here. I'm having a good time. Please recommend me more scary movies, and I'll get to watching them. Thank you, Rosalia. Thank you, Cal. Thank you, Justino. Thank you, Nicole. We'll be watching the movie that you just recommended. And oh, there's another person on TikTok that suggested I watch The Orphanage. Thank you to that person too. And I'll see you guys in the next video. And there's some scary movies that I'm watching, and I'm a little disappointed by them, but you'll hear them when I talk about them. But hell yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Elvis, and you're watching Joan of Our House. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to this dang video, and recommend me a movie. And I'll see you guys in the next week. See you later. Bye. I think this might be the second time I watched Tron Legacy, and I'm not mad about it, but the first time I was watching it, I got a little carried away, and I was just cheesing the whole time. I was like, oh my god.